welcome to the Reflection Show with me, Martha Inspice. Today we want to just talk and have a conversation. I'll be sitting down with some of my staff here at the Martha Inspice Foundation and the Reflections TV show. We want to just talk about childhood fantasies. Sometimes as children we have fantasies. We think, I want to be this, I want to be that. Are we the kind of people we imagine to be while we were young? What has changed and what we can do better? That is the conversation we'll be having today. Stay tuned, we'll be right back for a great conversation. Back from the break. It's still the Reflection Show with me here, Martha Inspice. Today we want to have a free conversation. You know, when I was young, I wanted to be a musician, then I wanted to be a lawyer, then I wanted to be an advocate. In fact, I didn't even know the meaning of an advocate. I just saw a woman on TV talking so passionately about something, and beneath her name they wrote an advocate, and I said, wow, I would be an advocate. And I think I wanted to be a journalist or a TV personality. Maybe that's what I'm doing now. But there were lots of things I wanted to do while I was growing up. But in between, I kind of thought that I wouldn't do one of the things I'm doing now currently. I have here Ubeida, Tony, and Mary. Like I said in my intro, they are all staff here at the Martha Inspice Foundation. They have always been behind the scenes producing the Reflection Show. But today they are here to share with us their childhood fantasies. Maybe did they ever thought they would work in an NGO? Did they ever think that probably they would be doing production? Was that part of the dream while they were growing up, and what they are doing now, and how we as young people can put together our childhood fantasies and what we are really doing now to see how our future can be very successful. Tony is the only man between us, so today I'll start with the man. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Tony, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, growing up, I had bigger dreams. But I wanted to be the bank manager for Ghana.
Hey, there's a bank.
Yeah, I wanted to manage the Bank of Ghana.
Okay.
Because that was my dream. I even told my dad about it. He was happy. But another thing was that I was so passionate about football. But when I talk about the football, my dad doesn't like to, encourage me on that. Or he just wanted me to go to school, become that bank manager I'm always talking about. But I had these two passions. It was something I really wanted to do. But one thing we don't understand is that growing up, circumstances changes your dreams, which you wouldn't know how to, come about, and before you realize you find yourself in a different field altogether, something you are not even passionate about, but just to survive or to live, you just have to be there. So, things became tougher, things changed. My dad even left at a point in time. It's late. So my life has to turn around. And before I could realize, I found myself, I stopped even playing football. I found myself in videography and photography. But it's quite a long journey.
Ubeida, what did you want to be when you were young?
Okay, I wanted to be a journalist.
Okay.
But growing up, even though I listened to news a lot, seeing the presenters on TV station, I developed interest. But along the line, I said I can't do it, because that time you just heard that like a journalist has been murdered.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
only that thing made me to withdraw from being a journalist. Yeah.
Mary, what did you want to be?
First of all, growing up, I used to hear my friends saying they want to be nurses. When they grow up, they want to be doctors. So I asked myself, then me, what do I want to become? And I had an uncle who was staying with me, and he was working with an NGO. So I asked him what the work he's doing. He told me he's into NGOs. So I was like, what type of work is it? So how do I call him? Then he told me he's a social worker. I asked him what is a social worker. He told me that it's helping people to solve problems, being in society or in a family. Then I decided to develop some interest towards that, because I used to see how people in the community approach him and the relationship he had with people in the community. So I said, oh, then I also work towards being a social worker. Yeah.
So now let me come back to Tony on this. Do you think that the external support didn't help enough? That is why you didn't achieve your childhood dreams, or you hadn't yet evolved enough personally to really know your strengths and weakness?
Okay, let me come with the first one. The external support, actually, I would say it's only support from my parents, but wasn't quite enough. I didn't need resources. I needed consent
Yeah.
or support
As
on
in, yeah.
whatever I was passionate about. But they weren't, 100%, concerned about me and what I'm about and what's actually I'm, looking forward to being in the future. So it was just a path I need to take by myself. But academically I was brilliant, honestly. I was very brilliant, but I was so passionate about football. I just wanted to be
A Samoa Jan.
Yeah, exactly. Even more than a Samoa Jan, I wanted to be one of the best footballers in Ghana, in fact in the world. And by then I didn't get that support. In fact, going through that journey, I had to do everything by myself. So I would say externally I only had 50% support, and growing up I realized that I'm not the type that that could easily mentor myself. I needed some kind of mentorship or support from others. So because I didn't get that kind of support, my life one way or the other, I lost so many opportunities, and I realized that my dreams will never come to pass. I mean, whatever I've been planning or dreaming about, I don't think I will get there. That is where I started developing to understand that this is life where I have to now face it.
Things may not always work the way you planned.
Exactly.
So when you heard, when you heard that they had murdered a journalist, you got scared. What is it that you were scared that you don't also want to be a journalist and they also murder you, or you didn't also get the support in that regard?
Actually, I have a supportive family. It was just about my feelings towards it.
Okay.
That made me withdraw it. But for the supportive family, I was having a supportive family. My mother will provide me anything that I need, like regardless to my education. And my sisters too will keep on advising me to go and get whatever that I want. They are there for me.
So after that passion went, what else was on your mind? Or you just thought like, oh, let me just be going to school, whatever that happens?
Actually, no. I developed, like, let me do it like this. During my tertiary period, the course that I did development and education. So the course made me develop the advocacy, to be an advocate. So I said, let me go with that line. And some of my friends too advised me that I'm good in that, because sometimes they do share their problems with me, and I'm good in advising them. So they think that I also felt that I'm good at that point. So right now.
Okay, so for you, it was just that, so just going through the school, it was the school that made you realize your strength.
Yes.
And now you want to go in that path. Okay. Mary, so now that you realize that you want to be a social worker, what are some of the measures you put in place to be in that line?
Okay, so after I completed from SHS, I asked that my uncle again how I can go about it. Then he told me he did agric at SHS, and currently he's been able to go into such field. Then I was like, wow, then I might not be good in agric field. So I told him that I'm good in mathematics. Then he advised me.
You are good in mathematics. Come and teach me.
So he advised me to go into business. If I'm good in it, then maybe I can be an accountant, and in that field, they can take me as their finances side. Or so I said okay. Then after the results came, I had an opportunity. I went to SHS, and fortunate enough, I was able to find my ways in getting what I wanted. That's the business program. So after I finished with it, as time goes on, I developed more interest in entrepreneurship, and that one was because of my mom. She's into this business, granite paste and local rice business. So she motivated me, and I added it. Even though I still want to be a social worker, I just added
that as also a passion you want to venture in.
So after I finished SHS, that my uncle still advised me on ways to do that. But after I finished, I went to university. The courses I was given was development studies. I was like, this course, even though I have not gone there, but it's looking some way. So I left it and I reapplied, and I had family and consumer science. When I read much about it, it was about food and nutrition. Then also there was fashion, there was tourism and hospitality management. There was also child studies and human development. I asked him, and he told me then I can go into the child development, like child studies and human development. So after I finished, I decided to look for an NGO that are into empowering young people and also the aged. Then I heard of Martha and Spice Foundation. I said, oh wow, then I'll try there. And God being so good, I've been able to achieve part of my dreams.
Okay. So let me come back to Tony. So now, you are now at this stage. All that was what you wanted and all that. Now you are here. All of you are now at the present. What is, so the childhood fantasies are now over. That is in the aspects of the career and all of that. What is next? What is next? Do you think that as a young person you need a plan for your life? Do you think that young people need to be able to plan out their lives to be able to have better perspectives of how they live and all that? Tony, or let me say, you can even add personal examples if you want to on how you are planning to achieve either those dreams or achieve other dreams that life took you on a different turn on.
Yeah, so I have learned a lot of lessons, in that aspect. So I've kept down some laid down plans for myself. At the point in time, I stopped going to school. That is because I couldn't get any more support after my dad left. So I need to find myself doing something to be able to arrange or organize some monies to support myself back to school. So now I want to be an entrepreneur in a way, and I'm still targeting to being my bank manager, but I know that with the football aspect it's over for me. So
Why do you just close that chapter?
I'm not actually closing that chapter, but for now, if I'm going to focus on the education, my age is going up, and football comes with age.
Okay.
So for now,
But you can do football age. Anyways, go ahead.
So because, like I said, I've learned that lesson, so I'll make sure that if my child have such a passion or any passion that he or she wants to, I'll try my best to be able to support the child, so that the child wouldn't get to a point where I am right now, struggling to now put up my life and make things better. But so far so good, thank God, things are going on well with my life, and I thank God for that.
Okay. Let me come back to Mary. After national service, what's the plan?
For me, I'll still love to go into NGOs to learn more about social work. And also, my mom is getting old. I would continue with...
They don't like that. You say they're getting old. Yeah.
I would like to continue with her entrepreneur side.
But of course, in a modern way and branded way.
Yes, please. I've already started that as well.
Okay.
So most of her entrepreneur business is now in my hands.
Eesh.
So I'm just
Big woman.
learning small from her.
Obey that. What's next?
Next is an entrepreneur. Even though I've started that since childhood. My mother was selling salts and being cereals.
Yeah.
So every one of us, we are 6 girls, 2 boys. All of us, excluding the guys, but all the 6 of us, we know how to do business. And we started it through the salt making. And I started business again when I was in university level 100. I was into these scarves and veils. So I started small. If I get tops, I will sell. If I get long dresses too, I sell. But right now, after my national service, I'm having plans to rebrand my entrepreneurship in maybe finding myself a place where I can also employ or tell a friend to look after it. Maybe my free days after work, I can pay my shop a visit and check 1, 2 things.
So she wants to have a job and have a business.
Yes.
Hey, make money. So now that is the career perspective. But I want us to look at, apart from that, what did you hear about adulthood? That when you were young, what did you hear about? Now we see adulthood not scam. I actually wish I was still young, because sometimes the financial stress, emotional stress is so annoying. And sometimes I'm like, I remember just within the week, some things that were happening, I was like, why are these things happening? But you're an adult. People look up to you. So what are some of the things that, I thought adulthood was going to be very interesting. Nobody's going to ask me to come home at this time. I can sleep the time I want, go out the time I want. My mother cannot tell me anything. I'll get married, and I and my husband will buy a car. I said by 24, 25, I'm married. By 30, I've given birth to all my children. And I'm Betehano. So what were some of the fantasies you heard about adulthood? Tony?
Adulthood. I wish I was still a child.
Yeah.
When I was a child, in fact, the perception I had about adults, and I want to praise my brother for being my senior brother. In fact, he did well, because he was trying so hard. He was making me feel like he's actually my senior brother. Yes, and getting to this point, my younger siblings, how they depend on me and the pressure. Wow, I realized that it's actually not easy.
They charge you for everything. My younger sister charges me for our day. they charge you for when schools is reopening. They charge you for everything.
Birthdays.
Birthdays, everything.
Yes. Look, in childhood, I was lucky. I went to school very early, so as at the point of completing junior high, I was 12 years old. So I already calculated my life that I will be 17 years old when I complete university, and by 20 years old I should get married and be in my mansion. So I calculated all those things.
Nollywood movies deceived us.
You see that I had all those bigger dreams. I felt nothing will stop me. I was just going, you know, with my age I will just be going and I'll be in my mansion with my beautiful wife and
your children are
also be young. You know, it was lovely. But what is ahead? Adulthood is actually a scam.
Oh, sorry, I'm laughing this way. I'm just remembering something. You know, there were times that your mom or your dad would do something like, I just can't wait to grow up. You can't talk to, like, you know, you're like, I can't just wait to grow up. And you're just in a hurry. So sometimes when I see some young girls who want to dress, I was like, just relax. Like, relax. I like using that word a lot, relax. Because once you grow up, you know, for some few years, I'm like, Christmas is not interesting. Someone said it wasn't my money. Because now, there is nothing, if it's the food, we eat that every day.
Yeah.
If it's the, what? But you see, when you were young, you don't even have to think about, I don't even think sometimes I even buy Christmas dress. But once you were young, your parents will struggle to get you Christmas dress. So, Ubaida, what were some of the childhood fantasies?
Before Ubaida will come in, I want to say something. You see, when I was very young, I observed my auntie and then my sister. You know, they were of age mates, so they were moving together. That my auntie is my grandmother's last born. They were moving together. They were doing everything together, and I love to ask questions a lot. I think that's how I got to know much about women when it comes to womanhood. So she'll come back home and crying. So I'll be looking at her and I'll be like, what's wrong, auntie? And then my sister will tell me that her boyfriend broke up with her. So I was trying to understand that word. What do you mean by broke up? Like, what are you talking about?
Broke up, move on.
Then my sister now explained, they were dating, and then
He said doesn't want to.
he said he doesn't want. I said, then change another. So I was like, change another. So at the point I have to even ask them, so you people, like, what will a guy just tell you and then you say yes? Like, what will they tell you? So they laugh at me and said, when I get there. In fact, as I am now an adult,
You understand?
I understand.
I remember there was
It's not easy.
my uncle and the wife were arguing, and it wasn't really. I was in Jersey. I was to stay with them, and I said, me, when I have a boyfriend, I would. That time they were dating. I said, I will never fight with my boyfriend. I said, it's simple thing. You just say sorry, and you just say, hey.
Yes.
My uncle was just look. At that moment, they actually stopped arguing, and they were now laughing at me. And I said, this thing is not anything. I said, auntie, just tell uncle sorry. Uncle also tell auntie sorry. Then my uncle talks very slowly, so he was like, and I said, no. I said, me, I will never fight with. So I think last year I went to Accra and she and I were talking, and she asked me that, you said you never fight with her. She asked me about something. So she asked me about something, and I was like, I'm not even going to talk to the person we are fighting. Then the person called, and I was just on the phone arguing. And she now reminded me, and they were laughing at that. You said you never fight with your boyfriend. Like, what are you even doing? What's even happening? I said, a pig asked their mother, why is your mouth so long? She said, no, you come and eat it. Obey that. Childhood fantasies.
Growing up, I wanted to be like, I was in a hurry to become an adult. Because like in the 90s, children in the 90s, you like to go out and play with your friends. That time my mother would say that lie down. and my sisters will be outside. They will come back maybe late or
and
late.
it's
Yes,
allowed.
sometimes late or early in the night. So I said, I want to grow up early so that I can also roam the way I want and come back. Not knowing that it entails a lot. When I was a child, like, I don't think about buying myself a new dress, sandals, no. And even though sometimes growing up, I don't plan to buy pad or anything. I'll just go and tell my mother, Mom, I'm in my period, so I need pad. She will give me money to go and buy, or I'll talk to my sisters. But right now, if I'm planning, if I have money, if I'm going to plan, there are certain things that I have to plan first. Example, like my pad and everything, I have to plan them. And I can just easily call one of my sisters, I need money. They will send me. But right now, because they know that I'm now an adult, I have something doing small. If I just call one of them now that I want money to buy this thing, they'll start giving me excuse, so and so school fees. They'll start mentioning their...
You wanted to grow.
Yes. Not knowing that it entails a lot. So adulthood is really a scam.
I remember there was a time that I'll go and take someone's bra. I didn't have bra, and I just like when they wear the bra. I also wear the bra and doing like they asked me to. I can't wait. And I remember they came to our school to like teach us about menstrual hygiene and all. I was like, why is it that they said there was me? They have never given me pad. I didn't. They said every woman uses pad. I didn't answer. I mean, they have never given me the pad too. I said I'm not a woman, no. And I was eager to menstruate. Sometimes, so that time they came and distributed pad for every girl in our school. I'll get up and just wear the pad. I wasn't menstruating. I said, me too, I'm wearing pad. No, it was, and I had some friends, all of us were wearing pad, and none of us were menstruating. Just to call me to want to wear pad.
You want to go to
and I remember 2008, I was sitting, my abdomen started paining. When I went and checked my first menses, then one lady in our house was like, oh, you can now wear. I said, oh, this is what they use the pad for. Then I said, if I knew that this is what the pains the pad comes with, I would say, God, I wish God can take menstruation. Menstrual pains is so sometimes as young people we are so eager to grow, but we forget the consequences. Because you see people doing something, you don't ask questions, and you want to be like them. Mary?
For me, the most funny thing was, you just see that your mom has gone to the bank, removed money, and come home. Then the next day you ask her, oh, I need money for this. If not for education or for academic purposes, she'll be like, she doesn't have money. And you're like, was it not just yesterday you went and brought money home? Then she told me, oh, when I grow up, I'll understand. True. I remember when I received my first NSS allowance, then for some days... At least
you planned for it.
For some days, I was the boss in the house. Then the man didn't even end. Then she was like, today they have sponsored eggs for breakfast. I was like, oh, I don't have my dad. Did you receive allowance? Then I said, oh, now they understand. Or sometimes you call your brother, they'll give you money. After sending the money, now you flash them and tell them you don't have credit. Then they'll be like, well, you know the one we just sent money. And I'm saying you don't have credit.
Sometimes before the money comes, I remember there were times that I took, that was, oh, Charlie, God has been good for a long time. I haven't taken quick loan. There was a time I took quick loan. Now, you know when it expires, or at 12.5. So what I was doing is that I'll now call some people. When they send me the money, that was the one the quick loan was taking. The MTN now blocked me. Now MTN will now send me, even borrowing airtime. MTN will say, we have missed you. You are extra tax. So you want me to be poor for you to be borrowing your airtime or what? So sometimes as adults, even airtime you don't have. Even data you don't have.
Food.
Even food. Then we eat 011 or 101 or 100 or 001.
Yeah.
Like adulthood is not really easy. Like, but when we were young, we imagined a lot, and we actually thought life was easy.
Yeah.
I thought that so you go after SS, you go to university.
University.
And
After
we even thought,
university,
thought by
married,
now,
you
maybe
get
you
a
buy
job.
your car and
Yeah, so
a
that's
good
the thing. So
job.
after university, you get a job, then you
car,
buy a car
and marry.
and you marry. Oh, the marriage there was one thing. So we're like, if I get to second or third year, I will start a relationship. Then maybe date for 2 years, or by the time I'm doing my national service, or after national service, I'll just get a job. Now we start planning. When we plan our marriage, just marry, move into our house, buy our first car. After a year or two, we'll give it to our first child. And what happened? Hey!
And even
In fact,
plan for
I
your
told my mother
children.
that I want to marry a white woman. You know, yes, I want to marry a white woman, and I want to buy like 2 cars. My wife will be driving one. I'll be driving one. You know,
Please,
so like,
you have to let me know around because we can't start with those ones. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Books by Pastor A.L. Fant. They are inspired by the Holy Spirit, simple to comprehend, relevant in application, and so lovely to read. Grab copies like Dynamics of Kingdom Influence, Dynamics of Ministry, Mark is King for Church Workers, Money Matters, and she calls herself a woman. This marriage must work. No more curses. Loaded mouth. Secrets of kingdom dominion. The exploits of service. Things fall apart. Church without bleeding pulpit. Singles mingle, and many more.
Welcome back. We're still looking at childhood fantasies. What did you want to be or do when you were a child? Is that what you are now? Did you also want to marry a white woman? That's like somebody wanted. No, but what made you want to marry a white woman? Why all the Ghanaian girls didn't see us?
childhood. You know,
Child.
we see things about whites looking so lovely, beautiful.
So no African lady was lovely to you.
No.
As at that time.
As at that time.
You can't marry a white woman.
Imagine when I was even a child, I didn't like what we call female. Honestly.
You don't like women.
No. Yeah, I mean female. Only my mother. It's amazing with this transformation, but only my mother I recognize as a woman, but I didn't just like women, like female.
Then you're more
So
to not a
so it got to a point. You see, my brother, he's a good person. It got to a point I maltreated my sister. Yes, the way I beat her, and I just don't like a woman getting close to me. So there was yeah. And I can't forget it. This time, so there was a point she got close to me. I just beat her mercilessly. My brother was seated there watching, and then he didn't say anything. He just came close and grabbed my hand. There was this neem tree just our house. When he broke a branch, he destroyed all the stick on my body. My mother was seated there watching it. My mother didn't say anything. Then after that, he sat me down and asked me.
Then that was when you changed.
Oh, and asked me who gave birth to me. Talk, and I'll talk. I say, my mother. What is your mother? Is your mother
What is your mother?
And I said, my mother is a female. You are not happy that God has given you a female sister. There are some people elsewhere, they just need someone to call a sister they don't have. And you are maltreating your sister like that. You are not even happy that your sister wants to get close to you. So look at everyone. Are you a human being? In fact, he said things
That make you so emotional.
that made me so emotional. Like, though I was pissed off crying, but I understood him. Then he left me. That if I want to be like a monster, I should continue being like that. Then he left me. So I sat there. I was now feeling shy. I was just seated there. I sat there for hours until it got dark, and So I started trying to allow my sister close to me, but it wasn't okay from the beginning. And allowing that to a point, I realized it was cool. So I started playing with my sister to a point that people even got jealous about how I play with my sister.
The beatings entered.
So back in junior high, my sister was in JHS 1 and I was in JHS 3. The way I play with her, the way we do things in the school, they are like, is that your sister? I said, yes. So
they thought she was your girlfriend.
Yes, not that, like, they didn't understand, like, they've never seen that kind of love.
Relationship.
Yeah, in siblings like that. And my sister told them that we are twins, but because of my higher class, so they've changed our names. She's called Comfort and I'm called Anthony, but she's called Antoniette. And the whole school, they took that idea. They thought we were actually twins, and when they asked me, I also said yes.
Anyways, let me come to, as adults and as children, one thing I struggled to do was to understand family. Just your father would say, this is your auntie. And this, and you don't know that auntie, like, what is auntie?
Yeah.
Where is it mother said auntie? Do you easily understand family? Or do you think the way parents explained family was the right way? Mary?
For me, growing up, I knew any stranger that comes to the house is my auntie or my uncle. So whether family, my father's side or my mom's side, I knew anyone coming to the house, if you are a female, then you are an auntie to me, and if you are a male, you are uncle to me. So that's how I understood.
But I got to a point, yes, I knew that one to show respect. But there was a point that I didn't even know which of them was really my blood. Because everybody, a lot of people come to your house, they will say, this is your auntie, this is your mother's, brother's, wife, sister, this thing. So even, I think it was just even last year, I really got to know that my grandfather had 2 wives. Because I didn't understand my father's side and his siblings. I knew that with my mother's mother, the grandmother, like, they are 5 kids. But my mother, my father, who is the firstborn of that side, and one of my aunties, they look like twins, and that's the eldest Auntie Esther, and my father. If you see them, they are in fact, I used to think they are twins, and they said they are siblings. But I realized that it was just moonlight. So it was later I realized that my grandfather married 2 sisters. So the sisters, one father, one mother. You know the way you can marry 2 sisters, and it was allowed. So even though that was like my step grandmother, but that was also like, say, that would have also been my father's auntie if she wasn't married to my grandfather, and also like my what's the name? My step grandmother or my step grand auntie in one person. So it was just last year, I think, after my father passed, we went for the 1 year. There was when I got to realize that my auntie is my what's the name?
Grand.
So that my auntie is 2 in 1 to my father. It's my father's cousin and my father's stepsister. Because my grandfather, they say you are married to women, but they are sisters. They are one father, one mother.
Okay.
So if she was married to a different man, her children and your children will be cousins.
Yeah.
But you have married the same man, so you are cousins and step siblings. Wow. You get it?
Yeah.
And then so sometimes I mean your brother. Sometimes to now ask my mother some questions. Is it brother by blood or just brother because you all say we are brothers? And I have now read that some people are actually my blood. That I actually thought they were just family, but they are either my step grandmother, children somewhere, and because they are married 2, 3 wives. I'm like, families can be confused. So sometimes I will just see someone and you just say, like you said, auntie, uncle, but I really didn't know whether they are actually family auntie or family uncle. I remember there was a time, I'll never forget, in Gambaga. That time we were staying at Elubo. My father used to work there with Ghana Immigration Service. And anytime we come to Gambaga and we are going home, that time I don't think Isaac wasn't born by that time. We were going to Elubo, and before we leave, we can kill like 10 guinea fowls to smoke them and take them, or 20, because it was very far. We could even dry brine and carry them along. So I was holding one guinea fowl. So you are holding them, children, 2 or 3. They will kill, they will call, and I was holding one. When they were killing, I was like, today you will die. Then the guinea fowl just do, and I got afraid. And the guinea fowl, we didn't even have. The knock my mother gave me, I had forgotten that knock. Guinea fowl, like just as a child, I said, I was just happy, like we are going to eat guinea fowls in the house. It wasn't Christmas. Hey, no Christmas and there's guinea fowl. Yeah, you'll be happy. So I thought I was only about 2 here. So I was giving to them to leave. One was letting the last one. I was just like, today you will die. I was telling the and I remember one time in Gambaga, we were coming from church. Heta, I know Heta is watching this show. My other kids. Those who know Gambaga very well, Gambaga in the northeast region, where the witches camp used to be, the hospital road, that place, we used to go for Bible studies every Wednesday at the Assemblies of God Church. So we're going home, and we were told that some white man came to Gambaga to do what and died. So there was his graveyard. They had done like a small building, and some funny stories you hear as children. And when we went to the Bible studies, our memory verse was, I will trust and not be afraid. That was our memory verse. That day it rained. We were caged in church. When the rain subsided, it was drizzling. Then when we were now getting, had also, and that place, also no Gambaga, just the junction, maybe now there's light. There, some roads, a long road, there will be light off, the light, there won't be street light unless you see. So when you go in the dark, you saw there's light, but that place there's no light there. Oh, they said I go, we were holding hands. Then they say, I will trust and not be afraid. I was trust and not be afraid. Then I think that one of our uncles, was it Uncle Kwame or Frederick, was following us. They said, oh, come don't be afraid. Then when we got to, he came and said, so we explained to our mothers what happened and how we have the bruises, and he just entered and said, I will trust him. I said, hey, so as children, so I'm not asking myself, am I sure that I'm really going to trust God and not be afraid? So as children, there was a lot of fear in us. Something small, I'll be afraid. Yeah. When they say they will kill, but sometimes, those that are praying, they used to beat us too much. Do you think that has helped, Ubeda? Do you think that beating has helped?
I would say, for my mother was not a regular beater. But the day that she will beat you, you will know that she really gathered all the beatings that she's planning to beat you. But it really helped.
It helps, eh?
Yes, please. Because she understood us in a way that, if you tell, the one you, if she tells me that I don't like this, I will listen to her. So, for children, there are certain things, example, if she tells me that don't go out, and my friends are at the window calling me to come out so that we will play. Once in a while, I'll sneak out, and sometimes, you just know that after this going out, you receive beatings, but you still go out.
One thing I didn't like was the early morning beatings. You be sleeping. Oh, Charlie. If it was today, I could sue my mom for mental child abuse. You are. I know my mom might be watching. Child abuse. I can still sue her for $1 million. So, what were some of the things that, as we're growing up, do you think the beatings and the discipline, do you think that it has shaped our lives?
Well, firstly, I'll say yes, because as Tony said, if the brother hadn't beaten him, he would have still behaved badly towards the sister. But that beating changed his perception about female. And for me, I'm the last born and the only girl. So that beating, I didn't experience that, because anything I asked, they would give me, and I was the indoor type. I didn't have much friends. And the friends,
you are demons. Do you know that?
and then
you can get into your flesh. Abigail, my sister, last one, she can frustrate me. What is that?
And the friends
there's no one you are
to,
frustrated. I know frustrated.
no.
Okay, I will ask them.
Yes. And the friends I had to, if they want us to play, they come to their house, then we play. I escort them home and come back to my house. So
It was
But being a last born is not easy.
You're also a last
I'm also a last born.
But there
But
was
in the
me.
midst of my sisters, 5 sisters, everyone, if one of them just put to bed, I'm the first person to call. Even if I'm in the school, my mother will just pick my bag, arrange my things when I just arrive. Your so and so has put to bed. You are going there. And that will be the final decisions that I can't say no. I have to abide this. So
it's not easy.
So the firstborns,
our last.
the firstborns, please, if we request anything, you have to give us. So
Are you
it's not easy.
I'm going to do. I've been talking about this thing, but I keep forgetting. I'm going to do an episode on the dilemma of a firstborn for you to understand the pain firstborns go
we have to
through.
add some of the last born.
The sacrifices we have to make for you, especially the last one. The last ones enjoy, Papa.
Oh, for that one, I'll accept that.
Last ones
Because
enjoy.
my elder brother, like growing up, everything you need now, you are
He will
going
give
to
you.
him. And there was a
Even the
time.
beating, it has reduced because your parents, as they are growing old, their strength is declining.
yeah.
So if you want to know your parents, ask your first and second
It's
borns.
true. It's true.
But last ones, they are finished
My
their
sisters
beatings.
last told me that, like, when they were growing up in our area, people used to gossip that they are with their auntie, not their mother, just because of the training that she wants to give to my sisters early in the morning, especially if there's no water in the community. 4 o'clock, she will wake you up that you should go. By the time they will finish praying, maybe you fill 2 cans or 3 cans before your colleagues will join, and it will be difficult for you to get water. And I think that, like, all these things were things that first we thought it was wickedness, but it's right now that we know that they really love us. That's why they
For Africans,
Yes.
they never say I love you. They say I bought shoe for you. Go and check if the shoe is nice on you.
yeah.
And what were some of the other things we were hearing? For me, you hear things like you don't sing when you are bathing. If not, a chimpanzee who will come and catch you. You don't sing or talk when you are stirring banku or teasers or akpele or whatever, because what happened. And a lot of funny myth.
Yeah.
Tony, what were some of the things you heard?
You don't whistle in the night.
You don't hear. If not, you are calling snakes.
Exactly. You are calling demons or snakes or whatsoever. So don't whistle in the night, and don't talk whilst you are eating. My dad was so.
So it wasn't because the food would choke you. See, that's the lie to it. The food can choke you.
Exactly.
But
at a point in time, I think when we grew up a little, my dad now told us that this is the reason why he said we shouldn't be talking whilst eating. The food can choke you, so don't talk. So we were disciplined with that, and my dad was a disciplined type. Though sometimes he allows us, but when it comes to disciplining, trust me, my dad will discipline us very well, and then the next moment you go and buy some nice clothing or shoes. I miss him.
And then what's important, what I say, don't let if a man touch you, become pregnant.
Exactly.
If a man touch you, become pregnant. There's this funny video I watched. It's a movie. That movie, is it? She's a very popular. She's not a small girl. She's elderly by age, but she's small. And in the movie, her great grandmother was Patience Ozoko, and her mother was Queen. And then no, her grandmother was queen, and her mother was this two Nigerian girls who act. And they're talking about adults, and the mother was like, you see, if I was careful, if a man hadn't touched me, I wouldn't have lost my virginity. And she was like, thank God, say I not be virgin again. And the mother was like, I go say, what did you say? Like, I think he said that if a man touch you, you've lost your virginity. Me, plenty men don't touch me. That even Adam, there's one man in their compound called Adam, but even Adam touched me. The mother got up with a knife. The grandmother followed. Then the great grandmother was still there laughing. And they went and heard the guy and said, why did you touch my daughter? No, he said, I'm not talking. You are lying. You touch me. You touch me. Even yesterday when they said that you should come and catch me and they will kill me, didn't you touch me? And the mother said, it be this kind of touch way they talk. And then the girl was like, but what kind of touch again? Then the mother now took her in and went and explained that, it's not this kind of touch that touch. So I think that sometimes our parents should tell us the truth about certain things. Because if you tell me that if a man should touch me, it's like you haven't really said anything. Yeah. You haven't really said anything. And one of the things I really thank God for is the fact that when I was even in primary, I lost a lot of friends who got pregnant. Junior high school was worse. Senior high school, a bit when you are done, you can say you have married or something. But at that age, we hear things, but me, like just by the grace of God, because at that time there was no really much education on, like right now, you are just there. The only thing you hear is I don't go out in the night. You don't even know what is happening in the world. Don't let a man touch you. You don't know what's happening in the world. So I think that sometimes the communication of what our parents should tell us, they should just open up to us. Yeah. Now that AI is there, if you don't tell us, parents, AI will tell us. So just tell us those things so that when AI is telling us, we already have the information about it. I think we are running behind time. Let me take the final words on some of the things that you heard, childhood fantasy. Anything you want to say? Rita.
My mother used to tell me that if a man touches you, you get pregnant. And again, that don't talk when you are eating. Don't talk when you are bathing. Without telling me that maybe it's
there's
not
a reason.
They'll just, and I think our days, we were not curious. We were not all that curious as compared to this time. Because we admit to, if your parents said I don't do this, you just have it in mind that it's not good. You not like put on emphasis to know the reason why. But nowadays children, if you tell your child that if a man touches you, you'll be pregnant, she wants to feel it. She wants to practice it and see whether what you've said is true or not.
So what's your final advice to any child or a young person growing up?
Okay, my advice is, my dear sisters and brothers, please let's listen to our parents. Adulthood is a scam. Don't be in a hurry. You'll get to it. Please listen to our parents so that you know the next step you take when you get to adulthood.
Tony?
I think experience, they say, is the best teacher. So just to tell the young people or the teenagers who are growing up, listen to the elderly, listen to your seniors, listen to whosoever that has had this adult experience. Whatever they tell you, you take it. Try to also reason about it. If you don't understand something, ask questions to know. Otherwise, you might think, oh, you're still a child. You will waste your time in so many things, and at the end, in your adulthood, you start struggling through certain things in life. So I think we should listen to the elderly and do things right.
Mary?
I would say parents should always sit their children down, ask them what they want to be, to help them in their career guidance. Because my time, it was my friends I used to hear saying, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a doctor. Then I developed interest with what my uncle was doing. So I believe if they understand what the child wants to do, they can help the child in ways to achieve that.
It's been a great conversation, and I'm just believing or hoping that everyone that have watched this episode will just take a moment and reflect about childhood. That is, if you're an adult, and really appreciate the fact that you need to help the children who are coming up to do better. If you're a young person who is watching this, understand that just relax, because you will get there. Look, this year started, I don't really know the things I really achieved this year, and we are about to end the year. The next year is going to come, so just relax. The years would come very fast, and by the time you know, I remember 3-4 years ago, somebody kept on the Facebook and it was like, hey, that the year have gone so fast, she even forgot to marry, and we're all laughing and teasing the person, because life is not all about that. And because we have put our minds to certain things about, I want to achieve this at this age, I want to do, and you see, sometimes we say, I want to marry at this age, I want to have children at this age. So we don't allow the process. You don't understand the purpose of God for you. Anyways, I believe this episode will inspire you and educate you. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martha Inspires. I'll be back with thoughts. Hello and welcome to Thoughts from Martha Inspires. Today I want to encourage every child, every adolescent watching me to relax and not be in a hurry for adulthood. It takes a lot of stages, a lot of emotional, mental, financial strength. You need some kind of energy to be an adult. The financial pressure alone is not easy. As a child, somebody will have pity and say, oh, you are a child, you are hungry, collect food and eat and you'll be fine. But as an adult, they'll be like, go and work. Go and put your hands to work. So I want to encourage parents who are subjecting their children to some of these labor. I know that the system is not so okay and you need your children to support you, but sometimes allow the children to be children. Allow them to be children. That is why we are encouraging all of us to give birth to the number of kids we can take care of. We've all fantasized about adulthood. I want to have a car with my wife or husband, with our kids, with $1 million in our accounts by age 30. By age 45, you have retired and you are traveling around the world. Please wake up to reality. Wake up. Adulthood is not easy. If you're already an adult, take up the right steps so that you can make things better for yourself. Do not complicate the journey of adulthood. We are all struggling. Be honest to yourself. And when you do this, I believe that things will become much better for everyone. Thank you for watching our Martha Inspires. Please have a good night.